Right now, some of Madison's homeless population voicing their frustration getting access to Madison Metro. What some are saying about the experience.
Also, on this Veterans Day, some students in Watertown are getting an up-close look at some military equipment, how the experience could shape their future.
And later, our salute to service continues for veterans from the Badger Honor Flight. We meet a veteran from the Vietnam era, what it was like for him and his wife during a time of anti-war sentiment. You're watching News 3 now at 6. If you're planning to head out tonight for some high school football, make sure you bundle up, maybe bring some of those hand warmers along with you.
Temperatures will be chilly tonight as several local teams compete for a chance at state. For more on these conditions, let's check the first warn forecast with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti.
Yeah, today was a perfect storm. We had cloud cover for much of the day. That held temperatures down. And then skies cleared out right at sunset, and now temperatures have started to drop off pretty quickly. As we take a look at the time lapse from the WISC-TV Skycam, you can see clouds with a little bit of sunshine from time to time through the day. But as we headed towards sunset, you can see how the skies started to clear out. We had a pretty nice sunset in the west. Doppler track, there were a couple of flurries up in far northern Wisconsin. Looks like we're not going to see much in the way of precipitation over the next week to 10 days. High temperatures on the cool side, 44 Madison, 45 in Janesville. A few places stayed closer to the 40-degree mark. Milwaukee was a little closer to 50. But you can see right now temperatures are in the lower to middle 30s. Madison dropped from 39 last hour to 33 this hour. 36 right now in Janesville, 37 degrees in Mount Horeb, and 38 degrees in Deerfield. Look for skies to be mostly clear, at least for this evening. Temperatures will drop off to about 31 by late evening. Later on, I'll take a look at a forecast that does include a big warm-up as we head into next week.
A 15-year-old Wisconsin girl missing since last week has been found safe. 15-year-old Anna Marie Estes had last been seen November 4th. Kenosha County sheriffs say her family is aware she's been found safe and they're working on bringing her home. One person was taken into custody in connection with Estes' disappearance. No further information was given and the investigation is ongoing.
One person is dead, another seriously hurt after a crash on Madison's north side today. That crash was reported in the area of Packers Avenue at Manley Street about 12:40 this afternoon. Two vehicles were involved. The driver of one of them died at the scene. The other driver had to be freed from their vehicle before being taken to a hospital. We talked to an employee at a nearby business who saw the crash and immediately jumped into action to try to help one of the drivers.
I was unconscious, but at the time he was breathing. And then about not even a minute later, the first fire truck got there, and I called one of them over here, and the rest of them went to the blue vehicle, which I had to use a saw to cut off the back door.
There's no word from officials on what caused that crash.
The occupants at the men's emergency homeless shelter on the east side are asking for a change. Their bus stop was removed over the summer as part of Madison Metro's redesign. Since then, the men have been traveling more than a quarter of a mile to the nearest stop. For some, the hike isn't just inconvenient, it's impossible. Many of the occupants are elderly and disabled and cannot make it that far in the snow. One man living at the shelter told us he feels like the city let them down.
Knew that the shelter was going to be here, and they took the city buses basically away from the homeless community that are older people.
The shelter is owned by Porchlight, a homelessness reduction program in Madison. Porchlight executives say they offer their own bus for those in the shelter who need a ride, but the men in the shelter told us the company bus lacks a wheelchair ramp. It only goes to one stop. They say it is not a solution, and they need more support from Porchlight and from Madison Metro System as winter approaches.
Canadian cheese and dairy products company Saputo will begin layoffs at its goat cheese facility in Belmont tomorrow. The Lafayette County facility is shutting down. Just under 200 employees are set to be laid off. The company also announced last week that its facility in Lancaster will permanently close. About 100 employees will be impacted by that shutdown, and employees being laid off in Lancaster will be given the chance to move to other Saputo facilities or be given severance and outplacement support.
This week, a series of constitutional amendments were approved by the state assembly, which means they could end up on voters' ballots next year. This is not the first time in the last couple of years voters have seen constitutional amendments on their ballots. It's becoming a more common practice in Wisconsin in recent years, and political reporter Will Keneally spoke to Wisconsin Watch reporter Jack Kelly, who has been investigating this. They spoke on For the Record.
I think if you look at the nature of the amendments that are moving their way through the legislative process and could potentially be posed to voters, you have some things that stem directly from legislation that's been vetoed by Governor Tony Evers.
Even just in recent months, there was a constitutional amendment on your ballot in April related to how judges can set bail conditions. You can see more from the interview this Sunday on For the Record.
A Dane County judge ordered the former Chief Justice of the Wisconsin Supreme Court to produce records related to her work advising the Republican Assembly Speaker on whether to impeach a current justice. Former Chief Justice Pat Rogensack was one of 3 former justices asked by Assembly Speaker Robin Vos to give him advice on pursuing impeachment of Janet Protasewicz. Judge Frank Remington issued an order giving Rogensack 30 days to produce any records that she has.
Folks in Beloit are honoring veterans today with a ceremony at Greiner Hall Senior Center. Today, the center welcomed veteran speakers, including Eva Hoff, one of the women known as Rosie the Riveter. The Beloit Color Guard and the Golden-Aired Choir also helped mark this day. Audience members were encouraged to ask the veterans questions and thank them for their service. For students at Calvary Baptist School in Watertown, they had a Veterans Day lesson that turned the school's parking lot into an Army landing pad.
That's right, a Black Hawk helicopter flew onto the school property to kick off various Veterans Day events, and our Catherine Merck shows us how one teacher says this can help their future careers take flight.
Students at this school got a pretty cool playground today and an experience to honor veterans that'll stay with them well beyond their time here.
That was pretty cool. The kids were very excited.
Calvary Baptist School got an inside look at an Army helicopter. Third grade teacher Alicia Richards says she's a graduate of the school herself, along with the pilot who made the landing onto the school's parking lot. She says bringing something like this to the school could give the kids a look at their own future.
And seeing our military, our Army men coming out, and I think it's just inspiring for them. Maybe it'll be one of them someday.
Reporting in Watertown, I'm Catherine Merck, News 3 Now.
Meanwhile, in Milwaukee, a make-your-own candle bar is helping make a difference for homeless veterans. In early October, Glassnote Candle Bar introduced a low ABV, or alcohol by volume, cocktail. Through today, 100% of the profits from the Rolling Along cocktail, named after the Army song, will go to support the Veterans Community Project. The goal of that project is to build a village of 40 houses for homeless veterans.
We're going to assist homeless veterans in getting up on their feet. So not just putting them into homes, but also giving them wraparound service.
My transition coming home, I struggled as well. So I've always wanted to partner up with the veteran community. This was a perfect opportunity for it.
The tiny home village will be almost entirely privately funded. Work on them is set to begin next spring. President Joe Biden is marking Veterans Day with new actions to protect veterans. He's expected to make all World War II veterans eligible for no-cost health care under the Department of Veterans Affairs, as well as expand coverage for costs associated with Parkinson's disease. The Biden administration is also unveiling new steps to protect veterans and their families from fraud scams. Still ahead on News 3 Now at 6, a recall alert for cantaloupe you need to know about.
Plus, an iconic drink getting recognition from the state assembly. Find out why it's not officially official.
The moms have a brand new show.
Are you having a great time?
I'm Mom So Hard Ladies Night. Saturday, November 18th at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster. Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells.
This Veterans Day, as we pause to honor all of those men and women who have served our country, we at Steinhoffels would like to stop and thank our employees and their family members who have sacrificed for our country. This Veterans Day, please join us in honoring all of those who have served this country by saying thank you.
For 46 years straight, more of you have trusted Ford F-Series trucks to help save the day. Stretch the weekend, haul, or tow just about anything, anywhere. That's because they're built Ford tough. And it's why Ford F-Series are America's best-selling trucks 46 years straight. And for that, we thank you. Now lease a built Ford Tough F-150 STX for $399 a month for 36 months. Only at your local Ford dealer.
If you have Medicare and Medicaid, iCare's dual eligible special needs plans help you get both care and coverage. Benefits include $1,800 per year to pay for eligible groceries and over-the-counter items. Whatever you don't spend carries over each month. Receive a $4,000 a year dental allowance and pay nothing for covered prescriptions all year long, even the brand name ones. Call us today and a licensed sales agent will help you find out if you're eligible. Rest easy. Eye Care is looking out for you and your health.
Win a hand-paid jackpot at Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells, and you'll have a chance to win a new Mercedes and a shot at $100,000 in cash. It's the Mega Jackpot Winners Quarterly Drawings, going on now at Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Cantaloupe sold under the brand name True Fresh are being recalled due to the risk of salmonella contamination. The cantaloupes were distributed in several states, including Wisconsin. All sizes of the fresh cantaloupes were packaged in cardboard containers with the Malachita label and sold between October 16th and 23rd. Salmonella can cause serious and sometimes fatal infections in young children or elderly people, as well as those with weakened immune systems. When it comes to the old-fashioned cocktail in Wisconsin, it comes with brandy, not bourbon. Now state lawmakers are making it somewhat official. The state assembly has approved a bipartisan resolution declaring the brandy old-fashioned as the official Wisconsin state cocktail. Because it's a resolution and not a bill, the brandy old-fashioned won't make it onto the list of other official state symbols. That includes milk as the official beverage, kringle as the official pastry, and corn as the official grain.
One of Madison's holiday traditions returns this weekend. The Electric Group, along with many sponsors, brings you the 35th annual Holiday Fantasy and Lights. Starting tomorrow, you can expect 7 weeks of lights displayed at Olin Park at no charge. The goal has always been to give this gift to the community and enrich the holiday season with a tradition that can continue year after year.
It's great for the family. That's one of the things that we like to do with the community too, is family-orientated stuff, which this is one of them. This is probably our big one for the year.
New this year, there's a QR code at the start of the drive-thru event for the music playlist. This is different than years past when you had to tune into a specific radio frequency. The holiday lights will be turned on tomorrow night about 5 o'clock. After the break, News 3 Now continues its coverage of the final Badger Honor Flight of the year.
Coming up, meet a Vietnam-era veteran and hear what it was like for him and his family while serving during a turbulent time in the U.S.
And could we actually see temperatures in the 60s next week? Gary has the answer. His complete forecast when we come back.
McGann Furniture is closing its doors. The owners are retiring. It's the final weeks of our going out of business sale. Everything in the store must be sold. Store-wide markdowns of up to 47%. Plus, we're taking reasonable offers on everything. Make us an offer on quality name brand furniture, including Amish, dining room sets, bedroom sets, recliners, upholstery, and mattresses. Free financing, special sale hours. Hurry in today to the final weeks going out of business sale at McGann Furniture, downtown Baraboo. You'll be glad you did.
How much money have you wasted trying to find the right shade of foundation to match your skin tone? You end up with so many unused bottles, yet you can't bear to throw them out. Now, there's Color of Beauty self-adjusting foundation, which means you'll never search for the perfect shade again.
It's really difficult for me to find a good tone foundation. I usually purchase about 3 or 4 and sometimes mix them. Color Beauty is a game changer in finding the right foundation. You put it on your skin and it transforms into your own skin tone.
The Color Beauty foundation is so simple to put on. My skin looks great and it just looks awesome.
The key to the innovative Color Beauty formula is tiny color beads that release and blend to perfectly match your skin tone as you apply it. The foundation is white when it comes out of the bottle, but when I begin to apply it, it adjusts to blend perfectly with the color of my skin.
My biggest problem area is my cheeks right here. Color Beauty feels really light on my skin, and I can tell that it is pretty full coverage, so it looks like I don't have too much foundation on, but it is covering all my acne scars like I was saying before. I actually really love it. It's weightless and it's full coverage, and also it literally just matches my skin as soon as I put it on. It's no work. I've never experienced a foundation like this.
Color Beauty only comes in 2 colors, light and medium. If you have fair skin or you burn easily, go with the light. If you have darker skin, go with the medium. Plus, with an SPF of 50, they're getting the highest level of sun protection in a lightweight formula. And best best of all is Color Beauty's exclusive special. Order this Thanksgiving and get 40% off. That means you'll get the color adjusting foundation, the skin smoothing primer, and the fan favorite lash enhancer for thicker, longer looking lashes at 40% off. Plus, get free shipping. Visit color40.com or call the number on your screen.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
We continue our Veterans Day series tonight with another story from the last Badger Honor Flight of the year.
Our Braden Ross and photojournalist Jim Abraham were invited to join the trip last Saturday and have been bringing us stories from the veterans they met along the way. Tonight, we meet a Vietnam-era veteran, Braden.
Yeah, tonight I'd like to introduce you to Wayne Martin. When he got his draft letter, his loved one's worst fear was seeing him ship off to Vietnam. Thankfully, that fear didn't come true for Wayne, but in his time in the service, still had a big impact on him and his family. Take a look.
Well, everybody hated to get that letter, but I got it just for Christmas and said, be there in January.
It's a story that many people in Wayne Martin's generation can relate to.
They took the best years of my life as far as I was concerned, you know.
He was fresh out of high school with a girlfriend he loved and his whole life ahead of him.
I was just a teenager and just getting ready to have fun, and then had to go play war.
But when Uncle Sam calls, there's not much choice but to answer.
And I remember sitting and watching the taillights go out the driveway. I was really upset. I knew that there were call-ups all the time for Vietnam, and that was my greatest fear.
It was a bus to Milwaukee and then a plane to Fort Campbell, Kentucky for basic training.
And everybody I went to basic training with was getting their orders for AIT, Fort Hood, Texas, which meant they were going to Vietnam. They called out my orders and said OJT, Fort Riley, Kansas, and I was excited.
So thankfully, that worst fear didn't come true. Wayne escaped the trip overseas for the time being and settled into his role as a tow truck operator in Kansas. Meanwhile, back home, Wayne's girlfriend Bia was going to school here in Madison in one of the nation's most active anti-war hubs.
It was on the news constantly, and it was right there in front of you because those National Guard were around the square for months and months and months. In our apartment, we got tear gassed because the police were tear gassing demonstrators out in the road, and it came in our open windows, and that really brought it home to me that people are really rebelling. And I'm thinking, how does that affect him? He didn't have a choice. He got drafted. He had to go.
Wayne made it home when he could, sometimes for less than 24 hours at a time. And eventually, he and Bia got married. But 2 weeks and a short honeymoon later, Wayne was off to Germany. He finished out his service in Germany towing trucks and tanks up and down the Autobahn. And when he got home,
there was no welcome home. You're just back in society again and back in your job and trying to pick up the pieces.
Now Wayne looks back on his time in the service fondly, but he'll always recognize the sacrifice it took to get there.
Veterans is why we got a free country, you know, and free speech. And, you know, if it wasn't for the veterans, it's hard to tell where we would be. And, you know, anybody's a veteran. It's just tip your hat to them.
We tip our hats to you, Wayne, and to all of the veterans who served our country in any way. I want to thank Badger Honor Flight again for letting us tag along on this trip and giving us an opportunity to share these stories. We'll still have one more story to share with you tomorrow night at 10 right here on News 3 Now. If you'd like to get involved in supporting a future flight, you can find all the information you need at badgerhonorflight.org.
Braden, thank you. Temperatures could be warming up next week. Here is Gary with your complete forecast.
Yeah, we're going to see our temperatures bottom out tonight. Tomorrow will still be chilly, but not quite as chilly as today. Probably see high temperatures in the upper 40s. Then we'll look for above normal temperatures on Sunday with highs in the middle 50s, and it looks like we'll stay in the 50s for much of next week. In fact, high temperatures could be around 60 degrees for both Wednesday and Thursday. It'll be mainly dry. Really don't have any rain in the forecast until perhaps later Thursday night into Friday morning, and then toward the end of the weekend, Sunday night into Monday of the following week. As we take a look at our weekend forecast, Saturday, high of 47. 47, not as chilly. Sunday will be milder with a high of 55. It'll be mostly sunny, but the winds will also pick up, and we'll see those wind gusts over 25 miles per hour at times. For the Badger football game, kickoff 2:30 tomorrow against Northwestern. Temperatures start out in the middle 40s. We'll see a little more cloud cover as we head toward the end of the game, but we should be around 40 degrees by the end of the game. And, of course, no rain expected for the Madison Marathon on Sunday. Temperatures start out around 40. By the end of the game, or by the end of the race, we'll probably see winds gusting to 20 to 25 miles per hour, but temperatures will be in the lower 50s thanks to bright sunshine and those winds picking up out of the south. Doppler track tonight, still some snow showers downwind from Lake Superior, a sign that fall is here. The lake waters are still warm on the Great Lakes, and the temperatures are cooling off aloft, but much of the precipitation will stay in the northern part of the Midwest. We're not looking for much down here, maybe a tenth to a quarter of an inch of rain, and those showers from Thursday night and Friday morning, and then toward the end of next weekend into Monday of the following week. Drought conditions haven't changed since last week. I don't expect them to change very much, even though we're not expecting a lot in the way of precipitation. Eastern Iowa right now is where the worst of the drought conditions are, extreme drought conditions over the eastern portion of Iowa. But weather track across the Midwest right now shows basically a west to east wind flow. We've got a little bit of cooler air coming down for tonight with high pressure moving in. In fact, that high pressure system just to our north and west. So underneath the center of that high, the air sinks. We'll see very light winds for tonight. And as the skies clear out, we'll see temperatures probably dropping into the upper 20s. But while temperatures are in the 30s now, you can see a little bit of milder air, some 40s over western portions of Iowa back into Nebraska just off the map. And on future track, notice the light winds for tonight. Look at those winds tomorrow. They start to switch around to the south, and that's what will start warming our temperatures up as we head into the second part of the weekend. Planning your night, temperatures right around freezing by 10 p.m., dropping to below freezing by midnight. Then as we head into early on Saturday morning, around 3 or 4 a.m., temperatures around 30, and look for overnight low temperatures in the upper 20s by early on Saturday morning. Planning your night across Dane County, look for a low of 28 in Mount Vernon, 28 in Pine Bluff, and 29 for the low temperature in DeForest. Planning your night across southern Wisconsin, 28 in Janesville, 28 in Monroe, and 26 for the overnight low in Camp Douglas. Tomorrow, partly sunny, not as chilly, high temperature at 47 degrees. First Warn 7 to 10 day forecast. Temperatures mid-50s on Sunday, mid-50s on Monday, upper 50s on Tuesday, and then 60 for Wednesday and Thursday. Now, it could be a shower chance Thursday night into Friday morning. Next weekend looks to be dry, although it will turn a little bit cooler, and maybe some shower chances, maybe mixed with a little snow Sunday night into Monday of next week.
The results are in, and 4 iconic toys have made it into the National Toy Hall of Fame. This year's inductees are Cabbage Patch Kids, baseball cards, the Nerf ball, and the Fisher-Price Corn Popper. This year, the Fisher-Price Corn Popper was a special 4th inductee in honor of the Hall's 25th anniversary. Some of the toys that didn't make the cut were Battleship, Bop It, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Ken from Barbie.
Well, there's always next year. And coming up in sports, it's a big one at the Kohl Center tonight with 9th-ranked Tennessee in town, while the Badgers are trying to act like it's just another game. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Looking for a B2B partner in social media marketing? Choose Shelley Social Media. Our team offers PPC advertising, social media management, digital marketing, and more. We don't just manage your brand, we make your brand shine. Discover the Shelley difference today.
Think all Medicare plans are the same? Think again. A Medicare Advantage plan from Dean Health Plan gives you the benefits you need with premiums as low as $0 a month. Medical, hospital, and prescription drug coverage comes with $0 copays for primary care doctor visits. And extra benefits can help you save even more. Get preventive and comprehensive dental, $250 for eyewear, and $750 for hearing aids. Plus, you can save on over-the-counter health and wellness items. All this and a free fitness membership at more than 20,000 locations. Call 1-866-249-1748 now to request your free Dean Health Plan Medicare Advantage Guide. That's 1-866-249-1748. Dean Health Plan, right here with you.
Culligan Water takes pride in being your local water experts. We live here, work here, and dedicate our lives to improving our area's water. We deliver the world's best water treatment and the industry's best service to you. Culligan Water, your local water experts.
Congratulations to Madison Magazine for earning 9 awards in the Milwaukee Press Club Excellence in Wisconsin Journalism Competition, including top honors for Best Single Story or Feature Design and Best Feature Photograph. Get handy with a little help from Madison Magazine. Learn dozens of fix-it tips and where to turn when the job calls for a pro. And meet 5 amazing entrepreneurs honored with this year's Amy Awards. Madison Magazine, online and on newsstands now.
When you partner with Shelley's social media, you will be eligible for our exclusive offer. The first 50 businesses who sign up now will receive free social media management. Enroll today and see your business thrive. Discover the Shelley difference today.
It all comes down to the final drive. News 3 Now brings you the big play highlights and scores from Southern Wisconsin high school football action. Don't miss the final drive, Fridays on News 3 Now at 10.
It had been 30 years since the Badgers scored 100 or more points in the season opener, and they did that on Monday. But tonight, they get their real test as Wisconsin hopes a top 10 team in November for the first time ever. And with 9th-ranked Tennessee at the Kohl Center, it's hard not to build this thing up, even though it is only game 2 of the season. As for Tyler Wall, well, he's doing a little both. But one thing is for sure, this team is looking forward to the opportunity.
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty excited. I mean, to have a top 10 ranked team to come into the Kohl Center this early in the season is pretty exciting, something that's never really been done before. But at the end of the day, we got to approach it how we approach any other game, where we're paying attention to the scout, we're going through what we got to do in practice, and then take it from there. Hopefully we play well.
It's on to Northwestern for Wisconsin, and the Wildcats might be the perfect opponent to face after 2 straight tough losses. When it comes to points allowed and points scored, they're in the bottom half of the conference. They have 2 Big Ten wins to their name and are coming off a 10-7 loss to the Hawkeyes. Now, the Badgers have won 2 straight against them, but when it comes to this series, Wildcats are always a tough out.
They grind, they grind to the end. They play to the end of the games, and we got to do a good job of not taking these guys lightly. I mean, our record isn't as, what I'm saying, we're not in a place to take guys lightly anyway. So, but I feel like this week we just got to just go in and attack from the start. That's one thing we haven't done is like start games and then finish them as well.
No matter who we're playing, especially in the Big Ten West, like they're always going to give us a fight. Yeah. They always kind of switch up who they are a little bit for us, so we understand that it's going to be a dogfight.
And don't forget to stick around for this week's Wisconsin Huddle. Tanner Bortolini and I get in the kitchen and cook some shrimp and preview Wisconsin's game against Northwestern. Show starts at 6:30 right here on News 3. Now, we also have Level 4 high school football, Badger volleyball.
A lot going on tonight.
We're busy.
So you're saying, you don't have extra time.
No.
A lot of highlights tonight. Gary, final check of the forecast for those heading out to these games.
Yeah, a little chilly out there right now. There's the live view from the WISC-TV sky, or from the Edgewater Skycam downtown Madison. Skies are mainly clear right now. Temperatures have dropped to around freezing. Madison right now, 33 degrees. Temperatures mainly in the lower to middle 30s through southern Wisconsin. Here in Dane County, 32 already in Middleton, 33 degrees in Sun Prairie. Look for temperatures to hold nearly steady in the lower 30s this evening. So if you're going to the games, bundle up.
All right, Gary, thank you. Thanks for joining us. For News 3 Now at 6.
Have a great evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.